Hello and welcome. The fact that you have made it to this video demonstrates your perseverance and patience. I congratulate you for that. We are at the last stage of this course. In fact, the last video. In this video, we discussed the most important topic that was the purpose of this course. That is how to determine the most prevalent emotion expressed in the tweets that we have fetched. So we will go through this process of finding out the most prevalent emotion expressed in the tweets that we have fetched. Now the code here is very intense and quite lengthy. So I will not use any slideshows anymore, but head straight to RStudio and run through the code along with you. So let's head to RStudio. So here we are at RStudio. So the code is here. We will run through the code and we will take a step by step and see what exactly happens at each stage. This should help you understand the code and the logic much better. The first step is we have to upload the libraries, what we require. Now you're familiar with the library rtweet. We have been using it. We require it for fetching the tweets. We require tm for text mining. We require dt for displaying the data in a data table. And ggplot and ggthemes we require for drawing the graphs. We require dplyr for multiple purposes, and we have been studying this all this while. Now we require three extra libraries. The first library is tidytext. This is a very important library. This library will give us the lexicon based on which we will conduct an emotion analysis. Now what is a lexicon and details of that, if you are unaware of, then I think you should take a course called Learning Applications of Art, Part 1 of 3, Emotion Analysis. Here you will understand all about lexicons, what they are, and understand the nuances of that. However, in brief, let me tell you that lexicon is a collection of words which have predetermined data regarding what are the different emotions expressed under different circumstances by different words. We will use a particular lexicon called NRC lexicon, which has data regarding emotions of 10 different types. So I will discuss this in more details as we go along. Now, next we will require a library called tidyr. We will require just one function out of this library called spread. We will see how to use that. And we will require a library called reshape2, from which also we will require one function called melt. We will see how to use that. So now let's straight away head and load the libraries. Okay. Next, we go through the usual steps we have been following all this while. We read the system parameters and then we create the Twitter token. And then we will capture the Google Maps API key. Now we will pin a location. Let's pin a location for India. And then we will fetch tweets. So the tweets are getting fetched now. And we are ready to go. Now, emotion analysis we will conduct for all the tweets which are in English language. So we will filter out the tweets in which the language used is English. We know that the language is found in the field called lang. So we will run a filter out of that. So we will filter out all the tweets which are in English language. We know that the pipe command comes from dplyr library. Also the filter function comes from dplyr library. Now we will go through the steps of extracting the words. We are familiar with this, so we'll run through quickly. So we remove the emoticons, form the corpus, remove the URLs, form the term document matrix, and then extract the words. So we are familiar with all this. Now we could see the words what we have extracted in a data table. We have done this in the previous video itself. Anyway, we do it once again. So there you have the words which we have extracted. Next, now we start our journey of emotion analysis. The first thing is, I told you we require a lexicon. Lexicon, we can get it from the library tidy text, and the lexicon we will use is NRC. So first let me load the lexicon. We can use the command get sentiments to load the lexicon. You need to pass the lexicon to this function. Our lexicon is NRC. So let's load the lexicon. Now let's see what this lexicon is all about. So you see here, this lexicon is a collection of words in which each word is given an attribute which is basically a sentiment that the word espouses. So this, we will see how this is used later on in the lecture. Next, we make two variables. One variable we call it the positive emotions. Positive emotions are the emotions exposed by the lexicon NRC. The positive emotions are positive, joy, anticipation, surprise, and trust. Similarly, there are 5 negative emotions in NRC. They are negative, anger, disgust, fear, and sadness. So let us make two variables out of these emotions that is there in the NRC lexicon. Now, from the NRC lexicon that we have fetched, as you have seen here before, this is the NRC lexicon where the word and the sentiments are given. Now, from this NRC lexicon, let us extract out the words which are having the positive sentiments. So we filter out the words which have the positive emotions. That's done. Now, what we do is we make a combination of the words that we have fetched and the combination of the words that is available in the NRC lexicon. We do this and then form an inner join between the words which are there in our list and which are there in the NRC lexicon. So we form a union and then form an inner join out of these words. Now that we have got the words along with the emotions as is there in the lexicon, we now next proceed to find what are the positive emotions and the negative emotions that is available in the words that we have got with us. So what we do is we sort the words by the sentiments, what is available in them, and then we will spread the words according to all the sentiments that is available in the different words that we have got. So first let me do up to step number 5. Let's see what we get if we do this much. Okay, now let's see the result what we have got in this variable v underscore text sentiment 1. You see here we have got the different words and we have got the sentiments what they have got, and we have mutated two columns, that is v original n, which is basically the same as the n is the number of times his words have been used, and we have mutated another column called v positive negative where we have captured whether the word is a positive word or a negative word, and we have captured the original sentiment that we have got in the word in the column v underscore original sentiment. Okay, now I use this function spread, and you see that all the different emotions that were there in the column sentiments will get spread into separate columns now. So now we have done that. Now take a look at v underscore text underscore sentiments 1. You see that each emotion has now got a separate column of its own, and the word is marked whether it is got that emotion or not by marking number of times that emotion is exposed by that particular word. So now we have 10 extra columns, one for each emotion. So this is what the spread function does for us. Okay, now that we have each emotion in a separate column, what we will do is we will find out whether all the emotions are actually there in our data frame or not. So for doing that, what we will do is we will find out if that particular emotion is there in a column name in the text sentiments 1 data frame, then we will retain the value whatever that particular emotion has got. Otherwise, we will create a new column and give it a value of 0. So this will ensure that all the 10 emotions are available in our data frame, and that will help us not to have any errors while we are computing subsequently. This is what this whole statement is going to do. It's a big statement, but however, we have discussed what exactly it does. So now if I look at this particular data frame, you will see that this data frame has got 10 columns for all the different emotions that we are having from NRC lexicon. So you see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So all the 10 emotions are represented in our data frame as a result of that particular command that we ran. Okay, now that we have all the emotions in our data frame, next what we do is we will group these sentiments by the original sentiment that we had captured, and we will sort them. So we do that. Having done that, now the data that we have got, let us plot this data and see what we get. So you see here, what we have got is a graph of all the different sentiments and all the different words which are contributing to each of the different sentiments. So we get a graph of each word, that is what is the sentiment it is espousing at this point of time. So you can see here the different words having their clustering under different sentiments. So we have come to the first stage of our analysis. Next, what we will do is we'll draw another graph out of this. It is possible for us now to find out the sentiments exposed by each word under different circumstances. So you see here, each word has got a particular sentiment which it is exposing. You can also notice that the same word can expose different sentiments as it is used in different contexts across the text at different points of time. The same word can also expose both positive and negative sentiments. The positive sentiments are towards the right and the negative sentiments are towards the left. So you can see a very clear demarcation of which words are emoting positive sentiments and which words are emoting negative sentiments. Okay, now we are all ready to find the most prevalent emotion. So what we do is that now that we have all the different emotion scores in different columns, we will put them together into a single column now. This is what the melt function does. The melt function is available in the library Reshape 2. So when we use the melt function, we'll put all the different emotion columns into a single column, and then we will group this data and summarize it. So once we have done that, now if we plot this graph, it will tell us what is the most prevalent emotion that this particular piece of data has got. So you see that the most prevalent emotion that is exposed here is fear. So from the tweets that we have fetched regarding India, we find that the people are emoting the emotion of fear as the most prevalent emotion. So I hope you got the idea. Now let's run through one more example and see the effect. This time we will run through very quickly. So we will fetch the tweets for a particular search string. The search string is Modi. The tweets are getting fetched. So there it's done. Next, we will remove the emoticons and the URLs. That's also done. Next, we will clean the corpus and we will extract the words. So that's also done. We will not show the data table here. Instead, we will head straight to the emotion analysis. So we form our basic lexicon and then we move to the first analysis, that is to find the different contribution of different words to different sentiments. So there we have our chart. Next, we see the same single word emoting different emotions what do we get? So you can see the different words, and you can see that there each word is exposing some emotion. Some words are exposing more than one emotion. Also, some words are exposing positive emotions and some are exposing negative emotions, while some are exposing both positive and negative emotions. Lastly, we come to the stage where we determine the most prevalent emotion that is exposed in the tweets that we have fetched. So the sentiment exposed in the tweets is fear.